Welcome to Don't Retire, Graduate, the podcast that asks you what you want to be when you grow up so you can graduate into retirement with purpose and passion. I'm your host and valedictorian, Eric Brotman. Welcome to Office Hours, where we answer listeners' questions about personal finance, retirement readiness, and more. We received a question from Amanda who asked, how might Social Security change in the future if there's a large COLA in 2023? And this is a 2 or 3 part question, Amanda, and I'm going to do my best to tackle it just that way. First, for our listeners who might not know what COLA is a cost of living adjustment. And so right now in the news, there's a lot of discussion about the raise that folks collecting Social Security may be getting this year. And there's talk about 7, 8, 9, 10% potentially being the amount of the increase because of inflation and because of the cost of living. So how could that impact Social Security? And I think what you're asking about is really the solvency of the program. Could this affect future generations because that becomes such a huge pay increase? And the answer is, of course, absolutely it can. The Social Security Trust Fund, which was at one time a truly segregated fund, is now just a line entry in a budget. And so to suggest that there's a vault that can't be touched for other things, I think is prevarication. What I will say is that as Social Security pays out and as boomers retire, and they retire by the droves every day, as this happens, it puts more pressure on the Social Security system. In addition, we have fewer people being born and joining the workforce. And so there's a confluence of events that are really scary for Social Security because the ratio of people working to people collecting has gotten much smaller. At one time, I think it was 12 or 15 to 1, and now I think it's 3 to 1. And so that's going to create some issues for Social Security. And Social Security, let's face it, has to get fixed. And it is a political hot potato that no elected official wants to touch, because as soon as you mention Social Security or Medicare and you're in the political races, you're largely doomed. It's been a third rail for as long as I can remember as an adult in this country. The ways to fix Social Security, and there's lots of them I could opine about, but the ways to fix it will all be unpopular politically. And so what I do think is going to happen is there will be changes to the Social Security program. It won't necessarily be just because of the cost of living adjustment this year. I mean, this is a train that's been rolling down these tracks for decades, and there's really no stopping this train at this point. There will be changes. Either the age to collect has to go up, and that will be unpopular, especially with folks who are already within 5-10 years of collecting. There could be means testing, which means that folks at a certain income level might have their benefits reduced or even eliminated. That would be unpopular, but it might only be unpopular with a small percentage of the population. So politically, that might actually be easier to do because voters will generally like it. There's also the possibility that the system is changed to eliminate what's called the wage base. Because right now, Social Security, you only pay Social Security taxes on the first $130,000 or so that you earn each year. And beyond that, you don't pay taxes on it because there's no benefits accruing. Well, if the wage base were reduced, or if there was a donut hole, or all the things that are being suggested, it would mean that FICA taxes or Social Security taxes would be much, much higher for high wage earners, and their benefits would not be impacted, so that it would essentially take some additional dollars from high wage earners and pay those benefits to folks who might not have been high wage earners. I could certainly opine on that, but in the spirit of today's question, I really want to avoid the political answer and just say, the answer is yes. Social Security will, in fact, be changing as a result of this year. It won't only be changing because of this cost of living adjustment, but the ways in which it may change will be legislative. They won't be purely financial. They will be political. They will be legislative. And Amanda, all I can tell you is, depending on your age and your proximity to collecting Social Security, or if you're already collecting, make sure you stay acutely aware of what's happening, because there could be changes that are grandfathered. There could be changes that require action in a relatively short period of time. So if you're within normal, quote unquote, normal or full retirement age range, be really aware of what's coming down the pike, because I do think some impact may occur depending on your income and depending on your net worth and depending on your age. So I wish I could give you a more definitive answer, but hopefully this has been food for thought and it'll keep you thinking about this we're not finished talking about Social Security. We're going to be talking about it again, and we certainly need to do more shows on it. I really appreciate your question. If you'd like to send us a question, which we might answer in a future episode of Office Hours, post it on our Facebook page or tweet us at Brotman Planning. I'd like to thank all of you for listening and for watching today. We'd love to hear from you. Please send us a message, leave us comments at don'tretiregraduate.com, or leave ratings and reviews on your favorite podcast platform. If you enjoy our show, share it with friends and family. Don't keep us a secret, and let them join you on your journey to financial freedom. Thanks for coming to Office Hours. Be sure to tune in next Thursday for another engaging guest. For now, this is your host, Eric Brotman, reminding you, don't retire, graduate.
Securities offered through Kestra Investment Services, LLC. Kestra IS. Member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Kestra Advisory Services, LLC. Kestra AS. An affiliate of Kestra IS. Kestra IS or Kestra AS are not affiliated with Brotman Financial or any other entity discussed.